Hello, and welcome back to the DayLuna Human Design Podcast with your host, Dana and Shayna. Today, we are here to talk about something really special, something really exciting, and near and dear to our hearts. And honestly, it's been a long time coming, which is that we are finally launching our online Activate Your Golden Purpose course. And we are getting so excited about sharing all of this content with our community because honestly, everything that is in this course is freaking next level. And we really wanted to create something for the individuals in our community that are ready to go deeper, for people who are following their strategy and authority already, who have really transformed their lives with those foundational aspects. And now they're ready to transcend to a higher level, to a deeper level, to that next timeline. And honestly, everything we wove together in this content is the stuff that has been the most eye opening for us, the deeper levels of human design that are honestly too complex to really share like on Instagram or to share with the average person. Like, this is the deeper level that has really unlocked our lives and our higher potentials in the last few years. And we're just really excited to touch a bit about what some of those really important things have been for our journey and how we've woven them into this course. And we want to talk a little bit today about gene keys. We want to talk about Godheads, like these deeper levels that we've been weaving into our human design journeys that we're now ready to share with our community through this new up and coming course.
Yes, and some of you may have, may recognize that name because you saw that we had a retreat in person in Mexico last year, our Activate Your Golden Purpose retreat, and that's where we taught all of this content for the very first time. And it was exclusive to just the people that attended and getting to see how impactful this information was for everyone there as well as, how it was in our own life, like Dana's saying, it's just incredible, truly. And this information, we pulled it together in the way that has been the most helpful for us. And you can't find this information online. Like if you have gone down the rabbit hole of the gene keys, for example, you know that there's just pages and pages and pages, and it's kind of like you have to be a scientist and wizard your way through it. To really decipher a succinct meaning. So we've done that for you. And there's nowhere to learn about the Godheads other than lectures from Ra. And once again, you have to kind of wizard your way through it and get the succinct meaning. So we've done that for you as well. And there's so many parts of the gene keys that are incredibly life changing and like honestly they feel like a key to unlocking or decoding the matrix. Like it feels like this code that you're getting to get to understand how to overcome your blocks or really see how you can shine the best and be the most prosperous, be the most abundant, be living in your highest timeline. Like it gives you the actual tools and roadmap of how to do it, which if you've been following us for a while now, you know that that's one of our biggest passions is like, okay, I don't want just information. Like I want to be able to take action on this. I want to feel empowered by it where I can really experiment and see how is this going to change my life. And that's really what this course is. It's not just going to be teaching you all of the different options for the Godheads and diving into the pearl sequence and your activation sequence and your core wounding. If all of that sounds new to you, welcome. I'm so excited for you to learn about all of that stuff. But this way that we teach this is really grounded in action and experimentation and really knowing what the steps are to move the needle forward, to get unstuck, to really understand your matrix so that way you can hack it and move forward in more alignment, more abundance, and more joy ultimately. So, this course is a deep dive, but also it's not like necessarily needs to be for people who have already been human design readers, although it does go really well with that. Um, it's for anyone that's wanting to hack those codes and dive more into prosperity, freedom, joy, marketing their message, understanding what their message and their purpose really is. There's not that many resources out there that tell you specifics of what your purpose, your life purpose is in detail. And this course, throughout all of these different lenses that we pulled together, give you a crystal clear image, and it's life changing.
Yeah, and it's really like the entire course is a training, like a really advanced training. So if you're a human design reader or a coach or a guide, you'll learn so many tools that you can then share with your community. But it's also a personalized activation. When you receive your digital workbook, it has these really deep and profound layers of your human design chart that you literally can't find anywhere else, guided out for you in a step-by-step process that literally activates these qualities within you. And, one of the intentions with Golden Purpose, you probably heard us talk about this before we did the training originally in Mexico. Um, Golden Purpose is kind of like this channeled concept where you are living a life that is truly in alignment with your soul's purpose. You know that you are helping the world in the way that your unique soul came here to do that. And it also has this ease, it has this sustainable prosperity element. And that's one of the things that we have heard our community reflect back to us is I want to be more purposeful. I want to help the world. I feel that we're in this great shift of timelines, that we're in this awakening and change of consciousness, and I want to help. But capitalism makes it really challenging to be able to compete in the social media world and to put our offerings out there and to get people's attention and to try to plug into all of these structures and systems so that we can provide for ourselves. And it makes it challenging when you're trying to play by these material world rules to really live your dreams and live your purpose and help the world. And we just know like we have to solve those issues. We need people who are providing for themselves and they are following their dreams. They are living their true soul purpose. And it's like, we know that that's the most important thing, that people are living their purpose and being able to provide for themselves. What are the tools that are going to help people do that? And we've really done that in our own lives. And now we've put this in this course. And so if you are someone who's been, struggling to share yourself on social media because you just feel like there's so much competition and you're always looking at how are other people sharing their messages? What are they doing? What kind of posts are they sharing or creating? And you're feeling like overwhelmed by trying to compete. This course is going to be something that just helps you rise above that perceived confusion and competition and find the divine codes in your blueprint that literally tell you exactly how to share yourself, how to market yourself, how to put yourself out there. And, the stuff that we get into in this course, it's so detailed and so specific. Like you will literally have crystal clear answers about how to share yourself, how to put your message and your offerings out there in the world in order to create success and prosperity. And, along that journey, there is, you know, really looking at your ancestral wounds, those places, the Godheads, like these places where you're being stuck, you're getting stuck, and you have these wounds that are like so deep, it's hard to even see them. There is like a whole journey of letting those things go, healing them, and alchemizing them. So, this is really like a transformational journey. But ultimately, it is about learning how to market your message so that you can find success as you help the world.
Yeah. And this information truly calls you out. Like it does
Yeah.
not sugarcoat anything. It's kind of like a slap in the face, but like one that like wakes you the fuck up and you're like, "Oh shit, like I didn't even realize I was off on this whole tangent or I was spiraling in this way." And like this information shakes you out of it, slaps you out of it and you're like, "Oh, I thought that that was just my preference. I thought that was just my personality. I thought that that was, something that was good or noble or whatever, my opinion, but really it's your conditioning." And when you get to see that highlighted and laid out for you, it's so liberating, right? Because now it's not about, letting those things go and becoming a whole different person. It's about not giving those things power over your decisions and how you're going to move forward in the world. So that way you can have more freedom to move forward as your true and authentic self. So it's crazy. We want to talk a bit about our own charts and our own journey with this information. And my Scorpio ass loves the darker stuff. I love the core wounding. I love the Godheads. I love getting to know, like the shadow side. Like, tell me, what are the things that are holding me back? Like, I know I'm amazing, right? Like, I know all my like rainbow side of myself, and all that's really good and helpful to know. But I also want to know, like, what are the things that I'm fucking up and that I'm like
Yeah.
living in my shadow. And when you read about your shadow, your gift, and your city with your gene keys, and within your activation sequence and your pearl sequence and your core wounding, it becomes really clear to you, like, oh, I've been operating in my shadow actually when it comes to my life's work, or when it comes to, my core wounding, or actually I've been really naturally giving this gift or experiencing this citic expression, which is like this higher expression, the highest expression of this gift. So let's talk a little bit about the gene keys. And so many people start with human design and then they get into the gene keys and they kind of leave human design behind, which is so shocking to me because they need to go hand in hand to be able to take action and to be able to experiment. If you don't understand how to use your strategy and authority and like really are using it, then all of the gene key information is just that. It's just information. It's just more content that you're consuming, and that it's just going in one ear out the other, or it's just like stacking up in your memory library, but it's not going to be changing your life if you don't know how to navigate with your true, unique energetic geometry. So, understanding how to use your strategy and authority and really letting that be the thing that is guiding you from the shadow to the citic expression is important. And then when you dive into the gene keys, it becomes really fun, right? Because you're kind of like decoding things. But what, like I said in the beginning, there's so much information that you're like, okay, what? Tell me like in a sentence. Can you put this in two sentences? What do I need to know? We've done that, right? So let's get into a bit about what's changed our lives with the gene keys.
Yeah. So first I want to say, I mean, in the course, we talk about like where the gene keys come from. We talk about Richard Rudd and him writing all of these beautiful poetic downloads about the 64 gates or the 64 hexagrams or the 64 gene keys. But the gene keys in essence are really broken down into those three states, like Shayna was saying. The shadow aspect, the gift is the thing that you're really here to share with the world. And through sharing the gift over and over, you finally get to open up to the city expression, the divine expression, and how the divine moves through you and channels through you with this gift. And these three qualities, the three aspects of each quality are profound, and you're here to contemplate them. They have so many beautiful poetic words in them that unlock these deeper aspects of you and help you understand the gates in your human design chart in such a deeper level. It's not even funny. And this was really powerful for me because my sun gate, my personality sun gate, or my life's work is gate 29, which is, I always thought, kind of a confusing quality, actually. Gate 29 is the gate of saying yes. It's this quality about making correct commitments. But I just always felt like when I'm reading the human design interpretations of it always felt a little bit shallow or confusing or hollow. And I've really had to do a lot of work on my own, observing this quality and really seeing it in my life to understand it. And then reading the gene keys aspects about it, the shadow, the gift, and the city, it just like made so much more clarity for me about exactly how my number one biggest quality is here to be shared in my life. So, with gate 29, and we're talking about gene key 29, the shadow is half-heartedness and like being afraid to fully commit to something. So you do things sort of halfway. You're 1 foot in, you're 1 foot out. And if you don't fully commit and fully send something, really go all the way to it, you can end up living a life that you feel like you're half-hearted in, like you're only halfway participating. And that energy, I feel like, has really been in enlightening for me to notice that my number one biggest quality that I can give is to make sure that I am fully, fully, fully committing 1000% all in on the things that are right and aligned for me. And, when I do that, having that energy of good luck, having that energy of magnetism, having an energy of contagion. And so, really asking myself and recommitting, like, where am I only 1 foot in, 1 foot out on my commitments? And how can I really use my strategy and authority to be 100% in and to be fully committed, which that is truly the gift of my energy. And when I'm truly committed to something with my energy, I do have this staying power and this profoundly contagious energy that brings passion, brings good luck and good fortune into the things that I'm doing. And so interesting to look at in my life before DayLuna. I felt like I had a really hard time like accessing this quality besides my marriage and my friendships and my family members. Like when it came to my career, I never found anything that was fully worth me putting this commitment into. And with DayLuna, it was the first thing that I just knew, like on a soul level, like this is it. I am literally 100% in. And the way that my life transformed from fully committing to something like this, like with my full heart and soul, it's just so palpable. And then the Citic expression for me of this gate 29 is about having my heart be completely devoted to this thing that ends up being a higher form of love and service and deeply immersed in human relationships, deeply and connected to like tantric energy, sexual and sensual energy, and practices in that like tantric kind of devotion. And that's been a really beautiful energy for me to play with my commitments, not just to my family members or to my partner or to Shayna, but to my business. Like, how and when can I feel that divine tantric creation, Shakti life force energy? And when am I truly putting it into my business? Like, literally making love with my creations, with my business. And when I'm in that state, feeling that there is just so much magnetism, abundance, luck, energy, passion. And it's like, even when I'm just talking about these things, I can feel my whole essence activated, like literally remembering who I am and why I'm doing this. And if I compare that to half heartedness when I've tried to say yes to things that I just wasn't fully into, like there is literally no comparison. So being able to dive into those deeper levels, and I could keep going. There's so much depth. And then there's also the line expression for that, which in the gene keys, the line expression is so crystal clear. It really gives you kind of like action steps around how you're meant to express these qualities. And for all of your different gene keys in the different placements, the line expression obviously has a different meaning. But this level of depth has definitely helped me activate myself and remind myself exactly what I'm here to share. When through just human design, sometimes I felt like, okay, gate 29, like saying yes to life, but making sure I'm saying yes to the correct commitments, there just wasn't that same level of activation there for me.
Yeah, and it's so interesting, how that was the most impactful for you because that's your life's work, right? Your personality sun. And then we get into, when we're looking at the activation sequence, we get into your evolution, which is what you're here to learn. And this is your personality earth gate. And this is your greatest challenge. It's what drives that life's work. What Dana's talking about forward is that earth gate. And so we get into the more specifics there when we're teaching in this course, but for me, that was the thing that really impacted me the most because my personality sun gate is gate 1 and creating, and I didn't feel that much confusion around that gate because I have gate 1 placed in my chart, so many different activations, so many different placements. But gate 2 has felt really elusive for me, and that is my earth gate, my evolution, this challenge that I'm here to really feel tension or pull from and use that to propel me forward to help me evolve, right? So mine being gate 2.2, I really definitely find that the shadow side of really feeling like I need to control or force life to happen or else it won't. That has been a huge theme in my whole entire life. And learning that, I'm like, oh shit. Yep. Okay. And there's another side to that of like feeling lost in time and space, or we're having no sense of direction. I don't resonate with that so much as like becoming deeply controlling and regimented and trying to force life to happen. Like I've seen that so many times in my life. And knowing that in my highest expression, like the city expression here, I'm here to awaken to my divine feminine essence. Like, and that's been such a huge life lesson for me in so many different times and uh eras of my life, is like really embracing and understanding and learning about what that really means with that feminine essence, and opening myself up to sacred receptivity, allowing myself to experience what surrender really is. And through surrender, I'm able to help guide humanity and direct humanity towards a better future direction from my own sense of powerful direction. Like I have a very powerful direction in this life, with especially because I'm a G center authority and I'm cross of the Sphinx. Like it's such a huge part of my purpose and my energy. And so knowing that the way that I become that leader that is helping guide humanity's future direction is through divine feminine energy, is through releasing control and receiving, and what does sacred surrender really look like that feels so counterintuitive, and learning that was so helpful because it doesn't, it, like I said, counterintuitive, like it feels like the opposite of what I want to do with this gift, but because of this placement, that's why it's more challenging for me than maybe it is for somebody else with gate 2. So learning that has been life changing for me. Um, and then when you get into the line expression there, for me, it's really understanding how it's going to impact relationships and how it's contagious to other people. And so this lens that the gene keys and these line expressions offer is so, it's just, you can just hear from these examples, it's just so much deeper, but also you have to be ready to like own your shit and take accountability to be able to get the most out of this information, right? If you just like read this information, you're like, cool, 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 check, 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 you're not gonna see any impact happen. But if you're like, okay, hold on, that has been driving my life. I have been ignoring that side of myself. I have only been focused on these gifts, but the gifts that are keeping me stuck are over here. And if I'm honest with myself, that's, I'm really leaning into that shadow, for example. Um, and just having the languaging, that's what's so amazing about human design in general, the languaging to these things that we've always felt, that are energetic, putting language to them, our awareness, our consciousness can understand, and just that awareness alone unlocks something, and it helps you to now see it as you're moving throughout your day, as you're creating something, as you're considering, a big shift in your life. It helps you to see that because now you understand it, and you can come back home to, okay, let me just tap into my authority. Let me release that pressure in my example, that need to try to control and force life to happen. Like, is that what I'm doing right now? Or am I truly using my strategy and authority? Like asking myself that question daily has been so helpful to let go, especially in this time of so much change.
Yeah, my evolution or my conscious earth is also a game changer for me. I have gate 30 there. So for anyone listening, right, in this course, we really talk about the union of human design and gene keys, like how you can
Yes.
use the two together in different aspects, in different ways. And we literally spell it out for you, like the exact pathway, the exact geometric structure, how you want to how do you want to look at them and contemplate them and activate them in an order that will literally give you an activation of all of these qualities. energies. So we're just kind of talking about like bits and pieces in our journey, but your conscious birth gate is called your evolution in the gene keys. And you'll learn more about that in the course. But your conscious earth gate is such an important energy in your chart. But as we're saying, your evolution, it's something that is here to help you evolve. It's something that is challenging in your life. And if you can embrace that quality, then it really puts a foundation that uplifts your conscious sun gate, right? Your most important life's work energy that you're here to share and be with the world. And my evolution, my personality earth gate is gate 30, which is like the gate of the clinging fire in human design. It's all about wanting to feel life deeply, but I can have these desires for things in my life and I can grasp onto it and create this like stronghold, like clinging to these things. And then when I don't get them in the timing that I wanted or whatever, it can just be so overwhelming for me and so emotional for me that it completely derails my ability to commit to my dreams and my desires, that sun gate of gate 29, like I was saying. So, like, even just the wording in the gene keys with gate 30, the shadow is actually called desire, to just want something so bad and to grip onto it. And I cannot tell you how much I relate to this. Like, this truly is my biggest life evolution. Like, when I was shopping for houses and trying to buy a house, and I was trying so hard, I was putting in so much effort and work and intention, thinking that I was putting in the work that was needed to get to a new level in my life. And I was like, you know, the more passion I have to this, the more I'm dedicated to it and committing to it, the more successful I was going to be. But I didn't realize that I was in this shadow of desire, like wanting it so bad that I was choking this energy basically and gripping onto this energy. And the gift of gate 30 or a gene key 30 is called lightness. And it's about using that desire of what I want in my life to be passion, to be fuel, to be something I enjoy, but having this lightness, like it doesn't matter if I get it or not. It doesn't matter the timing. It doesn't matter if it surprises me later. And so learning how to let go of my grip on things and learning the difference between that and my actual sun gate, my actual life work of commitment, like seeing the difference, right? Because you could see how they're kind of tricky. It's like the more I desire this thing, the more I'm going to commit to it, but I wasn't realizing that I was clinging on. And even just the actual word, the keynote there, the gift of lightness, like wanting things but having a released lightness about it. It just has been a word that has completely freed me. And to think about wanting things in my life and having these goals or these passions that I'm working towards or I'm committed to, but with a sense of lightness, it has literally changed my life. It has literally freed me and released that kind of like heaviness and darkness that has really been something that has pulled me away from the foundation of my gift. So that quality in and of itself is something that really can call you out, but it also can be the biggest thing that's been holding you back. Like literally, I feel like that's been the biggest energy that's been derailing me from working towards my dreams and being able to share my gifts and being able to transmute that and heal that has been huge. And then once you go on that journey, it unlocks kind of the next level of stuff that you're looking at in your chart. So you can see that this is way deeper than a lot of the stuff that we talk about in just the strategy and authority journey. It's going so much deeper into these layers that are very specific. And then beyond that, there's the line expression. So if you're someone that's like, I feel like I've done a lot and I'm still feeling stuck, learning these levels of your design will literally be the thing that can transmute and free you and get you unstuck in places that you weren't even really clear about before.
Yeah. Yeah. And um let's talk about Godheads. I mean,
Yes.
they saw my
You're so excited. Literally, your Slytherin ass was like, "Let's talk about Godheads."
oh my God. Godheads are so Slytherin. It's
They are
crazy.
literally so
Like
Slytherin because when you hear about Godheads at first, you know, it's like, "Oh, we're going to be studying these different God energies and the
gods and
sacred," but it's like
goddesses and
it
yeah,
sounds
and like I've
so
always been called
divine.
to Toth or
Toth,
to Ma'at
Egyptian
or
god,
yeah, and
but
it's not that at all.
little
But
do you know, you're about to go into the deepest, darkest shadow of the human programming. But honestly, it's the thing that frees us. It's the thing that
yes.
helps us understand all of the discord that's happening in the world in general and those deeper levels of yourself where you've been blocking yourself from shining.
Yes. Honestly, I view the Godheads as like the overarching, and they are the overarching programming of
Yeah.
all of humanity and our society and our history. And it really shows you why we have, the our reality that we experience right now, the structure, why it's kind of, if you think of like a simulation, why this is the game we're playing, because like these are the game rules. And understanding them allows you to kind of like identify like, oh, that's an agent if you're in the matrix, like, oh, that's that's the matrix. Like, it's not me. Like, I'm not needing to be controlled by these themes or these archetypes any longer. And so there's there's so much information with the Godheads. We're not going to teach about all of it here on the podcast because that would be like a 10-hour course or a 10-hour podcast. But understanding, like, for example, my Godhead is Hades. And that sounds so, of course it is, like my Slytherin ass. Like, I at first I was like, no, I don't want Hades. I want something way cuter. And no, I have Hades. And basically what it means is that I have this conditioning that everything needs to be faster. And it's everything's too slow, being in a hurry. This is giving off very much like undefined root vibes. And wanting to leave a legacy behind and contribute to the world, but being like 10 steps ahead of myself. Always like, it's not fast enough. I have to go faster. It has to be done. Like, what is my legacy in 100 years going to be? Like, literally being in a hurry to die. And I see that so much in my life with my undefined root, but also with my Godhead. And seeing how that has been something that shows up and I valued at certain times in my life. Now there's other Godheads that are about, you know, um, relationships and being with toxic people, or feeling like you need to really focus on the like getting your power back and not being repressed. And while that can be amazing to help people, right, to like, you're feeling called in this life to advocate for women's rights, for example, and to overcome toxic relationships, that can be an amazing thing that you're here to do. But it's really asking yourself, like, am I letting this conditioning control my life, where I'm obsessing over this, or where I'm hyper focused on my ex-boyfriend still, even though I haven't talked to them in years? Am I letting this derail what my authority actually really wants, because I'm only choosing to see the world through this conditioning? And so once you learn about it and you learn all the details, there's so many details with each Godhead. I'm just like barely scratching the surface. But once you learn about it, it becomes so liberating, because you're like, oh, okay. So it's totally great for me to want to be working in the education system, because that's the Godhead that I'm really falling into. Like, I'm attracted to educating the masses, and but not wanting education to be something that controls us, or lack of education be something that controls us and our future generations. You're somebody who really sees that, but it's not here to control your life and dictate everything that you're here to do. So the Godheads aren't bad. They're just, they're kind of like neutral. They just are. And it's only bad if it's something that is like clouding your vision from who you truly are and what your truth actually is, versus like what you think your truth is because of your conditioning. And it breaks it down like crystal clear. And it's once again a
It's
slap in the face.
shocking. It's
Yeah.
honestly shocking how powerful it is. It really is. Like, my Godhead is Toth. And you know what we're saying, if you're just coming into it, like hearing my Godhead is Toth and he's Egyptian God and I'm going to Egypt soon, it's like, oh, so cool, so exciting, all the things. And then you really learn what it actually means and what that conditioning aspect of the overall program is, and how that conditioning aspect can really be within me more than other things. So Toth is all about the traditional roles of masculine and feminine union, like husband and wife coming together, or what the masculine gender, I put in quotes, should be doing, and what the feminine gender should be doing. So anyone who has this Godhead, as I do, there can be such intense conditioning around those traditional gender roles. And it's really interesting. You can either subscribe to that conditioning in a way that you totally buy into traditional gender roles of man and wife and husband and wife, or men and women, or you can really swing the opposite and make your whole life about rebelling against that conditioning, which can also be wrong for you. So for me, when I was young, I really thought of myself as someone who doesn't agree with marriage. And I thought that marriage was really toxic and that it would always be something that is trapping you. And I made a lot of my younger years where I really was operating from conditioning and not self and ego, I want to say, about rebelling against marriage and being like, I don't believe in that. And I don't believe in the traditional family unit. And I don't believe in, women not working. And I had a lot of judgment actually from people who were like stay at home moms, for example, and the husband was earning money, or just people who got married really young in general. I just felt like they were missing out on life. And I genuinely tried to rebel against my Godhead so much that I tried to make it my personality. And when I met my husband, I instantly knew that he was my partner that I wanted to marry. And I also like to say that sometimes I felt like, this is embarrassing to even say on the podcast, but sometimes I felt like we were literally like Adam and Eve. Like we'd be like camping on a river and he'd be like fishing and I'd be like weaving something and cleaning up the camp, like falling into these like such traditional male female
Archetypes
gender roles
swung
that
the
I wanted
opposite way.
that I literally wanted to puke. Like I was having an identity crisis because I was like, is this really me? But my soul, like on a deeper level, my soul felt like it was really right. And on a more mental ego level of like how I thought of myself or how other people would perceive me, I really felt like it was all super cringe and I was embarrassed. You know what I mean? And so it's really fascinating to see the layers of that conditioning in my life. But now, fast forward, I've been married for a decade already, and I've kind of gotten past that part of my conditioning. But now I think that a bigger part of my Godhead is kind of urging me to use my Sun Gate 29 commitment to just commit to relationships and to think that that's enough. If I'm just committed and dedicated to my husband and being the best wife, like, am I fulfilling my purpose? I am, right? Or if I'm just committed to being an amazing daughter and to like serving my parents, like it's almost like my Godhead is wanting to lure me in to these very traditional places where a woman, and I put in quotes, right? Like the gender role of a woman should be committing her energy. And it can be something that really derails me from my true purpose. And while I am someone who's here to commit wholeheartedly to whatever my strategy and authority guides me to, which could be my parents, it could be my husband, and it is those things, I also have a deeper calling with my strategy and authority that's guiding me to be completely committed to my life's work with DayLuna. And it's just so interesting how falling into my Godhead's conditioning of like just being a good wife and committing to my husband and that being it, it almost feels like good a little bit, like eating junk food to me. Like it feels like, oh, that
Mm.
would be so easy. I could just fall into that and it would just feel so good. And I could just do that and I don't have to be successful or worry about my life's work or build an empire in the world. Like it almost
Yeah.
feels like the low hanging fruit. My Godhead does. And when I get really clear about that, it's such a wake up call. Like that is not what my true soul's compass, speaking from my strategy and authority, is guiding me towards. And so going against the conditioning of that Godhead for me and truly following my inner compass, it feels empowering. It feels like coming home to myself instead of like putting the wool over my eyes and just eating junk food. It feels like showing up for yourself in the long run and like eating healthy and working out. Like I honestly feel like the deconditioning process feels a little bit like that kind of self-care work. But in the end, it really gives you so much clarity about the blocks that you've been sort of subscribing to because they feel easy and like home. They feel comfortable. They feel like a really good out. They feel like a really good story that you could tell yourself so that you could get out of answering the call that your soul is giving you.
Yeah, and this was such a great example, Dana, because it really shows you how like it's your overarching theme that you kind of like are thinking about a lot, or are it's controlling you in some way. It's this like flavor of your like archetype of this chapter of your life, or whatever, right? Like it's this overarching thing that you can be like, why? Like I've never been have that theme in my life. And I think that there's a lot of places where it's like, well, karmically that's what you came here to choose and navigate through, and like that is true. You chose your Godhead. um you chose when you were born, right? Which dictates when you're got what your Godhead is. And so it's just really helpful to know, like, oh, that's why I'm obsessed with finances, or like everything that I look at in my life is a question of like, do I have enough or do I not? And or these gender roles like you're talking about, Dana, or like for me, this obsession with like needing to build a legacy, even though that is in my cross of incarnation, but like super fucking fast. Like it should have been done last year
And
or
like
last lifetime.
you've never landed, like, because you're always
Never
rushing
landed.
to go quicker.
Exactly. And so it's just so helpful to know, like,
And
oh, this is my archetype that I've been drawn towards. I thought was really fucking important, but actually it's low hanging fruit. Or it's junk food. It does feel
it's
like
junk
junk
food.
food.
It feels safe, it feels cozy, it feels easier, it feels better, it feels good in the moment,
Yeah.
but it blocks your true empowerment. It really
But
does. It
also, if your strategy and authority is genuinely like, you know what? I want to redefine gender roles in this collective world, and like that is my business, that is my thing that I'm wanting to create, that is my message or whatever. Like great, like your
then that's
Godhead,
right
you
for you.
chose that Godhead for a reason. It's just you being able to have the awareness and then decide, like, with your authority, is this distracting me or is this empowering me?
Right. Like for me, being married was truly what my strategy and authority was guiding me to. And, I really strongly identify as like a female gender, but I also really strongly believe on a really deep level that we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. I know this. We see it in our human design chart, we see it in all aspects of our life. And I believe that no matter what you identify with as a gender, it's really about a personal choice, and it's about you balancing masculine and feminine energy in a way that feels natural to you. So it's like it's interesting. My strategy and authority has really guided me to be married to a man in this role that looks very traditional for me outside, but I still have really been able to define what my true perspective is on these things in a way that feels really empowering and has ultimately uplifted my career to be in this marriage, where I feel like I have this sense of groundedness and safety. And I feel like it's a huge part of my life purpose. And it is a huge way that I use my energy, gate 29, to commit. Like I do commit to my husband, but I also feel like there's other things that my soul is guiding me to, not just that, like I was saying before.
Yeah.
And something really interesting about the Godheads I just wanted to share is that when we did this training, we are going to be able to watch the actual video that we shared. We recorded in real time with our community that was there at the retreat in Mexico. And hearing the other people in the group's perspective and insight and reflections on their Godheads is honestly, I'm not joking, one of the most awakening parts, because you get more understanding about your role in the sort of like not self of the world when you hear other people's, and when you understand what your husband's or your friends or your parents'
Mhm.
Godhead is. Like when we go through, you'll get to hear people giving their reflections, and we'll also get to hear in the course a lot of examples of like real places in people's lives where they've seen this energy come out. And it is so eye-opening, because as a leader of the new paradigm, it's really important to understand the world that you are trying to help. And Godheads not only indicates to you the place that you are potentially being deeply conditioned and held back, or the area that you're here to explore or redefine, but it also helps you understand the world in general and why people are getting hung up in general. And I feel like for me as a leader, when I got to learn about all of the Godheads and hear the different ways that it's impacted people and the different ways that the world has sort of programmed us, or like we're kept in the matrix, it gave me so much clarity and inspiration around my actual place in things, where my special zone of genius is that I'm wanting to help other people with. And that's something that's really cool about this entire course is like, you're not just going to learn about your individual stuff, hearing the whole entirety and all of the aspects of, all of the different perspectives, all of the different motivations, all of the different Godheads. It gives you so much clarity about where your correct place is in the totality. And it's like, if you want to understand yourself, sometimes you really do need to understand the rest of the puzzle piece to get that understanding on a deeper level of where you're meant to contribute and where you're not meant to contribute, where you're just meant to observe or help other people in those other roles.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we dive into your core wounding, which is so amazing and also
Yeah,
like
we love
cancer.
all of the because honestly, you can just see how these are the places that up level you more than anything
Yeah.
else. It
Yeah,
really
you're
is.
it really, really is. And I remember, and I think I share this in the course, like I remember sitting around like at a restaurant with my in-laws and Brian, and I had just learned about my core wounding, and it was like, oh my gosh, that is absolutely the thing that I have been like holding
Yeah.
and letting kind of drive me. And so it was just so shocking. And we're sitting around at this table at a restaurant, and my projector ass did not wait for the invitation. I'm like, "Who wants to know their core wounding?" And their
Were you
line
at
expression.
brunch? Who does
Yes,
this at
we were at
brunch?
brunch. Literally, who does this at brunch? Like,
Only
let's talk about your deepest wound and like biggest calling you out, slap in the face moment. Like, I'm about to call you out so hard to my in-laws at brunch. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? But I did. And I think they seemed like they loved it. They responded really well to it. They felt really seen, but also like, "Holy shit, like, can't believe you said this in front of other people."
I
Um,
love you.
I know, I mean, so, like, borderline repelling, but I have really they really do recognize me and see me,
Yeah,
and I
they
have
do.
really well open invitation, but there's a fine line. Like, you can have a really open invitation with someone, but you're not gonna, like there's some things that are like, "No, there's no invitation there," and these things were a little core wounds
You're
are
walking the
very
line.
vulnerable. They're very
Oh, yeah.
vulnerable and raw. It feels like poking into a wound that has like a scab over it or something. Like it is not comfortable to hear this information, but it's so helpful because it like lets you clean that out and have like, actually get healing versus having the same stories over and over and over again controlling you because you just don't understand that that's what it is. So, we could go on and on. Honestly, this program is amazing. We're so passionate about every single thing that we teach in this program. And as you might have heard from the beginning, you get when you sign up, we basically how it works is we open doors on August 8th and then they close on August 18th. Like they are open for 10 days, open on 8/8 Lionsgate portal, and they close on August 18th, which is Dana's birthday, by the way. Which just all the timing, of course. We never plan the timing, and then it's always like so kismet. But they close, and then we don't get started like giving you access to all of the classes and learning about all of your information until September 8th. And the reason why is because we, from the 18th of August till September 8th, we are going to be personally making your workbooks with all of your personal information on your activation sequence, your gene keys, your pearl sequence, your core wounding, your Godhead. Like we are going to be making all of your workbooks and delivering that to you on September 8th for you to then dive into all of the modules with the videos because you really need that workbook to be able to go through the courses and the training to understand it and really apply to your own life. So that's how the structure is. Once the doors are closed, they are closed because this is a highly personalized journey that you're going to be going on. And then when they open on September 8th, it is self-paced. You can go as far and deep as you want to when you want to, and you have lifetime access. So If you don't want to dive in right away or you want to take it bit by bit and then really integrate it before you move on to the next thing, you can always come back to it and integrate it at another time. So if you're feeling called to dive, if there's like a small part of you that's like, I want to know more, called to dive into this, um, you have from August 8th to August 18th to join us. And we're going to then dive into your energy and your chart and really make an incredible resource, which is this workbook. And I just want to say this workbook honestly is the equivalent of getting like 5 advanced readings.
Yeah.
Um, like truly, which would be like, I don't know, like $2,500 just the workbook alone, because that's how much information you're going to be getting about yourself and pairing that with the videos and all the training and learning about all the other different options. You can be applying this to your friends and family, understanding, your colleagues or your clients, applying it to your business. Like the sky's the limit, really. It's such an amazing resource. So yeah, we're so excited and thrilled to be teaching this information because it's about damn time we know and I really see a bright new paradigm and
Mhm.
where we can be moving as an empowered collective. And the more people that know this information, the better chance we have at rebuilding something that is truly in a higher expression than where we're at now versus the opposite. So we just want to spread this knowledge. We want to spread it far and wide and hope that you can do the same. Take this and run with it, share it, teach it, really help change the world because it's going to take all of us to really make that happen.
Yeah, and honestly, one of the things that I'm the most excited for are the people who do this program, do this training, and get to their pearl sequence where they start to share their message, their marketing, their branding, find their align with, magnetize their culture, which is, their dream clients, the people who really align with them. Because we've talked so much about the juicy, deep layers that are going to up level you. And like in this course, the way that the activation is laid out is that once you go through these deeper and, shadowy kind of energies, it literally catapults you, transforms, alchemizes into these PowerPoints where you then have all of this detailed information about how you're meant to market your message, how you're meant to put yourself out there. And so I'm really excited, like, in my own journey, I just love like the deeper, like darker places. And then to experience the transformation and rising that comes from that. Like there's literally no more satisfying thing in my life than that. And I feel like right now, personally, like I've been going through an up level experience with my family, with my parents, and they're kind of getting older. And there's, stuff that we've been navigating in that. And I feel like I'm sort of in the darkness or the shadow of that journey. But I'm already so excited for the up level and expansion that's going to come from it because that's how life works. That is literally how growth works, right? We go into these parts of ourselves that are the shadow or the depth that needs to be healed, that needs to be looked at on those deeper levels. And it leads to a quantum leap, a quantum transformation into that next level. So ultimately, at the end of this journey, you're going to have a personalized clarity that comes of like how to actually start sharing your message to align with prosperity, to align with your correct relationship to money. And it is so incredibly specific. I'm excited for you all to learn that. And I'm excited to just go on this journey together of going into these deeper levels. This is like for the dive in bitches who want to learn all of this depth, who want to really go there, and then to experience that quantum level together and to feel like you're just so much more empowered about how to share your message in a way that is you. Because honestly, like looking at social media, I feel like I don't know if it's just me or if it's everybody, but I feel like we're kind of in this place where people are like, what are we doing on social media? Like we're kind of
Mhm.
seeing through the old things that used to work. We're seeing people who are just like triggering us or they're feeling icky. I feel like if you're kind of looking at how other people are marketing or sharing their offerings and it's feeling like overwhelming or just like you just feel like it's old paradigm. Like this course is going to end in an up level that tells you exactly how you're here to position your message in the world that is just going to feel like you. And I'm so excited for that. Like I'm ready for everyone in our community that is brilliant and that has their unique gifts and wisdom, people who are deep as fuck, who are willing to go there, be in the spotlight in a way that is natural and sustainable and going to attract the people that are meant for them. Like, I am done with the world of competition, of the world of comparison, with the world that says that there's all of these rules about social media that you have to share in a certain way. Like, no, I'm done with that. And I feel like through going through this journey and learning these deeper levels, it's really empowered and emboldened us to start sharing in the way that is just sustainable and real and natural. And it takes away the guesswork, it takes away that comparison. So I'm excited for everyone who goes on this journey to end there. And I'm excited for all of the levels in between because there's so much depth. It's going to be really cool to learn all of this and to be able to share it on Circle and to hear your reflections in it. We can't wait to create your workbooks because they're so beautiful. We love them so much. I mean, it's just going to be a really powerful and exciting journey. And yeah, that 8-8 Lionsgate abundance codes, baby. Like, that's what we're talking about. That's when the doors open for this journey. And I'm really feeling like there's so much divine timing and synchronicity in this journey for us, like being able to share it with our community in this way. This course has been so highly requested. It's been one of our most requested courses that we've ever created. You know, since we did this journey in Mexico and filmed a lot of the coursework that we shared, people have been hitting us up weekly, like asking, when are you going to launch that? I really want to learn about my Godheads. I really want to dive into the gene keys. I really need help around purpose. And I want to learn about my pearl sequence. And all of that is wrapped into this course in such a beautiful journey. And then, of course, it really is an advanced training that you'll be able to add these tools to your arsenal if you are a human design reader or a coach of any kind. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to see who ends up coming with us on this journey.
Yes. So you can find the link below in the show notes, but it's at daylunalife.com/golden purpose. And that's where you can learn all of the details and see everything that you're going to be diving into and learning and how the program works. But this information, like, I'm like, can everybody know about their Godhead? Please. Can we
Yes,
please shout from the
please.
rooftop everybody's core wound at brunch? Um, like, can we? Because we need it. So we love you all and we're excited for where we're headed in this new paradigm. And yeah, we're grateful that we get to be on this journey with you, creating it, crafting it, leading it. And we hope that you have an amazing, depth filled, but also expansive rest of your week. Thank you for tuning in with us today. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to follow along and learn more about human design.